Welcome back to my 25 days of Christmas. Now there's 5 days to go and I wasn't going to let you get there without knowing how to make the perfect roast potato. These crunchy little golden nuggets will put a smile on everyone's face around the table. Garlic, rosemary, goose fat, let's get it. I say potato, you say potato.
I say potatoes, you say potatoes.
There's a few stages you need to go through exactly to make sure these are crispy and stunning every single time. There's no reason why it needs to be hard, there's just a few things you have to do right. First off, selection of potato. I've gone for Maris Piper. They're widely available and they're stunning in my opinion for roast potatoes. You take them and you peel them. However you want to peel them, with a knife, with a peeler, it's completely up to you. I like using a speed peeler. Just want to make sure you get all the knots off, all the dark bits. Now your potatoes are all peeled, just cut them up. And you can go to whatever size or shape you want. I like leaving them quite big and try and get a big surface area or a big flat edge somewhere. And that will just help that golden brown caramelization crisp up one side of the potato. Just get all of them into a pan of water. I start with cold water, then bring it up to the boil. Good pinch of salt and a bay leaf. Getting that sort of first round of aromats into the potato at this stage is going to make sure they've got flavour bursting from the inside out. Now depending on your budget, depends on what sort of fat you want to use. If your pennies are quite tight, then just go for straight up sunflower oil. It's neutral, you're going to give it a little bit of butter at the end anyway for flavour and that fresh hit of aromat. If you've got a bit more money, go half duck fat, half sunflower. And if you've got a little bit more money than that, if you had a good year, then you go half duck fat and half ghee. Now ghee is the Indian cooking fat that is basically the fat from butter. It's the clarified butter. We've had an okay year, would you say, Gab?
Yeah.
Medium year.
Gas bills don't help.
We've had a medium year, so we're gonna go half duck fat and half sunflower oil. Now this has been happily bubbling, simmering away. We're gonna pour off the water and then just leave them like that on the side for about 10 or 15 minutes. We've got a hot roasting tray here. We're gonna bang in some of our sunflower oil. You want plenty of fat for this. You want them caramelizing by the hot oil, the hot fat, the hot duck fat. So half and half, just by eye is fine. And we get this back into the oven to heat up. These potatoes have been steaming now for about 10 minutes. And the reason we do this is so the outside of the potato isn't moist, it's dry. So that potato acts like a sponge, collecting that fat, that flavor, and impairing it into the potato. Using the heat from the oil to crisp up and caramelize the sugar in the potato, turning it into a golden brown, crunchy bite of goodness. Now there's still a tiny bit of steam coming off these and they will continue to steam until they're completely cool. I've put them into a bowl now, just big enough for me to ruffle them up. And that will sort of agitate and crush up the edges, and that will allow more fat, more flavor to be absorbed into the outside of the potato. Now, you may notice that my tray is a bit of a thick boy, and the reason for that is I want hardy, thick metal in order to keep the heat in. So when I add my potatoes, they crackle and pop and fizz, and the thickness of the tray keeps in all of that heat. Just gonna grab a spoon, carefully your hands, and nappe and glaze those potatoes in the fat. And that will make sure that while the cooking process is going down, these potatoes get nice and crispy all over. Back in the oven. Now we're looking about 185, even up to 200 degrees, depending on how strong your oven is. But you want it sitting about 185, 190. They'll stay in there happily now for about 15 minutes. Then we'll re-nappe, toss them about, see how that caramelization is coming along, and stick them back in. Fresh out the oven, golden brown, smelling delicious, stunning, crispy, bubbly. There are a couple of stages left to make these roast potatoes the best you've ever had. Now there's two flavors that go with roast potatoes that I absolutely love. One of those is butter. The other flavor is an aromatic hint. Now you're not gonna get that from adding your garlic and your rosemary right at the start of cooking. The way you are gonna get it is by impairing and infusing that flavor at the end of cooking. And that way you keep that hit of garlic present, that lovely fragrance you get from rosemary. It doesn't turn into this melange of bitter burnt leaves leaves, what you end up getting is a deep, nutty, roasted flavour from that brown butter, that garlic and the rosemary. So let's say it's Christmas Day, you got up in the morning, you got your roast potatoes ready to rock. Now's the stage, you put the butter in, the rosemary and the garlic, and then you just leave it on the side. So when you're cooking your Christmas dinner, at the last minute, you can flash those potatoes through. Now there is a little bit of moisture in that butter, so you wanna make sure it's properly browned before you take them out, because the moisture from the butter could affect the crispiness of your potatoes. About 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the strength of your oven and the strength of that fan. And this is what you end up getting, that stunning nutty butter, the smell of the lightly toasted caramelized garlic, the flavor and fragrance from that rosemary, a little hit of salt and a flicker in of pepper, and you just get these out into your bowl. I think Christmas dinners should be a sharing affair. Ain't nobody got time to plate 12 dishes of everything. That rosemary, that's still got a bit of life and smell and fragrance in it, just goes on the top as our little bit of garnish. And that's it. Golden brown, stunning, crunchy potato, ready for your Christmas meal. And thank you all.